I welcome Professor Baghel, Honorable Minister of State for Animal Husbandry, Dairy and Panchayati Raj, Government of India.
लाल किले से भाषण दूं या मोहल्ले में, डर नहीं लगता। अपनी जनसभा को संबोधित करना बहुत आसान काम है, लेकिन भैया आप लोगों के सामने बोलना बहुत कठिन काम है। तो भाषण अच्छा नहीं हुआ, लेकिन पैर नहीं कप पा रहे। इसके पीछे वो अवार्ड है। तो मैं MOS लॉ एंड जस्टिस था, तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजों से मिलते हुए घबराहट नहीं होती। MOS हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर था, तो एम्स के 22 डायरेक्टर बैठे होते थे, तो कोई डर नहीं लगता, मज़ा आता था। और आज तो बहुत ही प्रिविलेज सिटीजन मेरे सामने बैठे हैं, एक से एक बड़े नामाचीन लोग बैठे हैं, तो डर नहीं लग रहा है। तो जो आज आप लोग अवार्ड जो भी पाएंगे, तो सोसाइटी ने रिकॉग्नाइज किया। मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि विभिन्न ट्रस्ट सोसाइटी संस्थाओं को ढेर सारे चिन्हित करके लोगों को अवार्ड देना चाहिए, क्योंकि देश की आबादी 140 करोड़ है और पद्मश्री बहुत कम है। इसलिए हमें संस्थाओं को भी अच्छा काम करने वालों को अवार्ड देना चाहिए, वरना उनको न्याय नहीं मिलेगा। और जो अवार्डी हैं, इनसे लोग जलते हैं, इनकी बराबरी नहीं करते। जिस को पद्म मिलता है या आपका पुरस्कार मिलेगा, ये आम आदमी होते ही नहीं हैं। ये थोड़े जुनूनी होते हैं, ये कुछ घंटे ज़्यादा काम करते हैं, कुछ ज़्यादा डिसिप्लिन में रहते हैं। मैं तो कहता हूँ कि जितना बड़ा आदमी है उतना थोड़ा साइको होता है, वरना वो ये इस पद पे नहीं पहुंच पाएगा। तो 2 शेर सुना के अपनी बात समाप्त करता हूँ। जब से मैं चला हूँ, मेरी मंजिल पर नज़र है, इन आँखों ने कभी मील का पत्थर नहीं देखा। और दूसरा शेर है कि मेरी ज़िंदगी एक मसलसल सफ़र है, मंजिल पे पहुँचा तो मंजिल बढ़ा दी। यहाँ तक किसी को भी नहीं रुकना है, ना मंच को रुकना है, ना सभागार को रुकना है। बस अर्जुन हमारा रोल मॉडल होना चाहिए। हम सब विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में काम करने वाले लोगों का आदर्श केवल अर्जुन होना चाहिए। तो हम अपनी लक्ष्य की प्राप्ति को जरूर करेंगे। मुझे इस अवसर पर इतने बड़े लोगों से, इतने ज्ञानी लोगों से, इतने डायरेक्टर्स, इतने कॉर्पोरेट गवर्नेंस के लोगों से, इंडस्ट्रीज़ के लोगों से मिलने का अवसर आपने प्रदान किया, इसके लिए आपका आभार। धन्यवाद।
When we are running a business, there is only risk. Without a risk, there cannot be a business. A business opportunity comes with risk. So you are managing, while managing a board for corporate governance, you are managing compliance. That means you are trying to avoid risk. कोई खतरा नहीं होना चाहिए, सब कुछ ठीक होना चाहिए, रिटर्न्स पक्का होना चाहिए। At the same time, आप business चला रहे हो, इसका मतलब आप risk लेने जा रहे हो. And the topic for today, that is sustainable wealth creation through board management, is the third contradiction, क्योंकि wealth तभी आएगी जब आप risk लोगे, और उस wealth को जब आप खर्च करोगे तो और wealth generate करोगे. We can generate wealth only after we have spent something. So creating sustainable wealth through corporate governance, a wonderful topic with huge contradictions.
I think the point was well made. I think if you look at some of the statistics and see the survey of the S&P 500, 58 companies that were there in 1958 is no longer there. And it's predicted that 75% of the current S&P 500 would not be there in a few years' time. That's a very sobering statistic when we talk about the sustainable wealth creation. So my take on this would be, first of all, there has to be a more long-term approach. So long-term versus the short-termism. How do you balance this? I think you rightly said, governance, how could we use that as a strategic asset for growth? I mean, in our company, we keep talking about one of the biggest risks that we worry about is the risk of missing the bus on a new technology and a new opportunity. Right?
The care is towards the stakeholders, that is your investors, your employees, your customer, and regulation. This is duty of care. And duty of loyalty is towards your own company, which you are representing. That's the chair. It's nothing to do with the people who are co-working with you, the management team. And most importantly, board development. So during the course of time now, what has happened, that's a very interesting thing. People started doing board meeting, then board development as a process. Very rarely you come across organization which say end of the year, I will not assess the board, I will develop the board. Ultimately, board is also humans. It's not like board is a auto upgradable robo which we have fit in. So how do we transform the future from board assessment to board development? Presently, boards have a challenge of how do I manage the performance of today with the need of tomorrow. Because performance of today is something far more manageable, and need of tomorrow, we are talking about infotech, digitech, technology convergence, along with capital fleeing, and how is capital going to get aligned towards the organization, and most importantly, the employment creation and the societal purpose. And third important thing is the chair, that is the chairman, needs to be the convener or the process of change than just convening meeting.
As these generational shifts happen, I think the transfer of knowledge could happen within the promoter groups itself, but I think it's also onto the boards. I think this is where the boards play a very, very important role, because what happened in the past, when a lot of these founding first generation, second generation, they knew the SKUs, they knew what are the supplier arrangements, they know what is the customer arrangements, they think they know how the mahal works, but the entire mahal is changing. I mean, in the last 10 years, if you see, it is not a situation where, you know, you show me the man and I'll show you the rule. I mean, it doesn't operate that way, right? So things are changing. I think that generational change as it is happening, I think the boards, the people in this room will come under increasing pressure, which also means how do you manage teams, how do you manage the ability to get people internationally, how do you send people with more exposure. I think those are things which will be far more expected, and in that context, the aspects around diversity, inclusion are of course critical.
Can we have a round of applause for all the panelists and for all the learnings we drew from them today?